Autoline Daily is brought to you by Bosch. The number of clean diesel models in North America will double by 2014. Bosch Clean Diesel. Good, clean, fun. Bridgestone. Your journey, our passion. And by Dow Automotive Systems. Improving durability and increasing design flexibility with Betamate structural adhesives at dowbetamate.com.
This is Autoline Daily for January 17th, and it's time to track the latest developments in the automotive industry. All the world is watching the Eurozone right now, and the news is very pessimistic. Bloomberg reports consumer confidence is plummeting, unemployment is rising, and the economy is slowing. Obviously, this is bad news for car sales. Last year, registrations fell 1.4% to 13.6 million units, as 4 of the region's top 5 markets contracted. Fiat, PSA, and Renault had the largest decline of all the automakers. But then, maybe some new product news will help. According to the Detroit Free Press, Fiat will introduce a 5-door version of its scrappy little 500 at the Geneva Motor Show in March. No details about the vehicle are known, but it would certainly have to be stretched to accommodate the extra doors. The Cinquecento wagon, that's our name, not Fiat's, will also be offered in the U.S., where it would hopefully boost sales of the slow-selling model. The company moved just under 20,000 of the little guys last year in the American market, and that's less than half of what was planned. But while the Fiat 500 fell flat on its face, Chrysler cannot keep up with demand for the Jeep Wrangler. According to the Toledo Blade, the company will increase production by 100 units a day at its Toledo assembly plant, the only location that builds the Wrangler. Sales of the Wrangler were up 30% last year, and that's just counting in the American market. There's an interesting article on the China Car Times website that argues Chinese automakers need to be privatized in order to succeed. Almost all of car makers in China are state-owned, and the author argues this hurts them because they listen to the government more than they listen to their customers. They expanded recklessly because of cheap loans, they lack accountability, and they rely too much on profits created by joint ventures with foreign automakers. Until things change, it's likely to get worse for domestic Chinese brands because consumers there just are not interested in them. Last year, Chinese domestic brands were down 3%, while foreign brands were up by 5%. There's a public hearing being held in Detroit today on the 54.5 mile per gallon fuel economy standard. A number of people have asked me if I would attend that meeting, but I'm not going. Why? For what? The hearings are overpopulated with environmental and labor leaders and the same tired list of activists, and we already know what they're going to say before they even say it. You're going to hear a lot of blah, blah, blah about how the American people are solidly in favor of higher standards and that they demand more hybrids and electric cars, despite the fact that this is the very same public that does not buy very many hybrids or electrics. To me, it's amazing to watch the environmental and labor public relation machines crank up to get in the news. The UAW, which never, ever, never contacts me on anything, has bombarded me with emails to try to get me to attend. Same with the Environmental Defense Fund. Maybe I'd go if I thought I would learn something, but I don't need another lesson in the attempted brainwashing of the American public.
I'm Andrew Justice. Hollywood usually premieres movies, but today we're here for new technology, not in film, but in cars. That story coming right up.
Dow Automotive Systems, driving solutions in automotive, commercial transportation, and aftermarket with innovative products like Betamate structural adhesives. Lighter, stronger, safer. dowbetamate.com.
Automakers are in a race to the top of the fuel economy charts. From downsized turbocharged engines to hybrids, they keep trying to one-up each other. But despite all the high-tech stuff available today, the good old internal combustion engine still has a ton of life left in it, and that's the route that Mazda is taking.
Remember Mazda's Skyactiv technology we told you about earlier this summer? Well, the company rolled out the red carpet here in Hollywood recently. for the first version of this fuel-saving technology, which premieres in its most popular vehicle.
So what we've got on the Mazda 3 for 2012 is the Skyactiv G 2-liter engine. We also have mated to that a 6-speed Skyactiv Drive automatic transmission and the 6-speed manual transmission Skyactiv MT. Now that is being deployed in our iTouring model, which is the highest selling model that we have, and we're offering it for 2012 not only in the 4-door but also in the 5-door. Efficiencies that we've gotten from the Skyactiv G engine mated to those different transmissions gives us 40 miles per gallon for the 4-door and 39 miles per gallon for the 5-door in highway driving, which of course is among the class leaders in the 4-door and best in class for the 5-door. And of course that is on 87 octane fuel, so you don't have to worry about running high test on that.
Mazda not only made their 2-liter engine more fuel efficient by improving on existing direct injection technology, they also put 2 new transmissions into the car, and not just to save gas.
The Skyactiv Drive automatic transmission, we basically took everything we didn't like about conventional automatic transmissions, that sort of slippery, disconnected feeling you get, and some of the inefficiencies of the transmission and the way they don't shift as quickly or as precisely as we'd like. And we tried to engineer those problems out of the transmission. So that slippy feeling and all out of the inefficiency comes from the torque converter. And so what we did is we used the torque converter only for what it's good at, which is pulling away from a stop. Up to 5 miles an hour, torque converters are the best thing there is. After 5 miles an hour, we have a clutch that we put in there with it, and the clutch takes over. And after that, it's locked up like a manual transmission, very direct, a lot more connected feeling. And then I think the smartest thing we did was we had the electronics, the computer that's controlling the transmission. We have it train itself on how to control its own transmission, because each shift solenoid has a little bit of a different response, a little bit of a different amount of time it takes to respond to a signal from the computer. So it will learn how each one responds and then compensate for it. So say if one of them is a millisecond slower than it's supposed to be, it'll send that signal a millisecond earlier from now on. And so it just gets rid of any variability, and it's really precise.
The Mazda 3 is on sale now, but the first Skyactiv technology vehicle built from the ground up, the CX-5, won't go on sale in North America until sometime next year. From Hollywood, California, I'm Andrew Justice.
I've actually been test driving a 2012 Mazda 3 5-door this week, but unfortunately I'm driving one with a manual transmission, not the automatic they just talked about. I'd say the 3 is a nice simple car, but maybe a little bit underpowered. Say, Autoline is going to be webcasting live from the Washington, D.C. Auto Show next week, where we'll be talking with some of the top regulators and legislators in the nation's capital. We've also got some free tickets to the show to give away, so if you live in the D.C. area and want to attend the show, shoot us an email to viewermail@autoline.tv. I think we'll limit 2 to a customer, and you better get your request in early because these things really go fast. And that wraps up today's show. Thanks for watching. We'll see you tomorrow.